We got audio now. Happy, happy colonizer day. Let your barbecue sauce be plentiful and abundant on the day of the colonizer. Oh, the colonizer. Oh, the colonizer. Oh, the colonizer. Brought all kind of crap. Look at that. See the taper getting better, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. You know, it's getting better. I'm trying to master the art. See, you gotta get a certain kind of angle on it. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? What's good? Hello. Hello, Miss Valentine or Valentine. I'm sorry. I was thinking about that OmniFox actually. That's one of those videos that's gonna be pretty thorough. I'm waiting for my cousin to jump into the comments because we're trying to do an experiment. Let me see. What is this? You know what I'm gonna be for Halloween? I'm gonna be Stevie J for Halloween. I'm gonna be Stevie J. Why would I be Stevie J? Stevie J. I'll be Stevie J because I could do this. Stevie J face. Don't tell nobody I can do that. It's a secret. I don't see my cousin, man. I'm waiting for my cousin, man. So while we're all here, would anyone like to share what their activities are on this day of reckoning or this day of appreciation for the colonizer? So, how do you say your name, Miss Valentine? Tiana? Am I saying it wrong? I'm probably saying it wrong. Tiana? Tiana? Playing with my nose, man. Feeling like messy playing with my nose. Peace to the chat and everybody that's joining us on this day of barbecue sauce over pork and other animals. Tiana, got you. I was trying to get there. She said Tiana. Like, get it right. All right, all right. I know y'all like, man, we 5 minutes in and this nigga is over here playing games. Greetings, Melanie C. Joining us on this day of fireworks and gunpowder and vinegar barbecue sauce. All right, so this was just an experiment. I was waiting for my cousin, but until he get in here, let's just talk about Native Americans. Let's do it. All right, so here's the thing. Um, here's the thing. Damn, Melanie C is eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You know what? You know what? You know what? You've inspired me. Let's get it. Let's get it. PB&J it is. Dedicated to Melanie C. So let's talk about Native Americans, man. Me and a friend was doing some research in the last couple of days about the Native American tribes that existed in the area of which we live. And I'm pretty sure the story is very similar to my cousin ain't in here yet. Very similar to other Native American tribes all across this continent. But what we uncovered is that, of course, a lot of murder, a lot of genocide was executed on these lands. Specifically, where I live at in the Bay Area, it's just really interesting because, unlike a lot of other places in this country, there's the geographical makeup of how the Bay Area is very profound, and you can tell and you can see how it will be a thriving epicenter for Native American tribes, because you're right here by the coast where you have ocean water, but you also have the bay where the ocean kind of comes inland, and then you even have deltas where the bay water still goes inland to nourish other parts of the earth. So there's just this break off of water coming inland. But and there's mountains and hills and plateaus, and all that. So with all that being, I'm sorry, I'm just super zoned out right now. I'm zoned. Oh, there's my cousin. There he is. There he is. All right, I'm gonna see how. How come I can't bring you on? See, this is what I was trying to see. How do I bring him on live? I can't do it on YouTube. Probably, because I think the last time I did it, I think I was on Instagram. Add as a moderator. This is moderator. Put user in timeout, remove. Share. Forgive me, y'all. I know I was right in the middle of some shit. Hold on, copy link. See, but it won't let me exit. It won't let me exit the live and send you a message to copy a link. I can't exit. Damn, T. I can't exit. I don't know if we could do it like this. I think there's a way to do it if I was maybe on my desktop, but YouTube has changed the way that the live streaming is, so I'm not even sure, but I'll figure out a way for us to do it in a easier manner, or we could figure out something else. You know what I'm saying? Either we can record it before and then upload it later, but it's good to go live, because if you're saying some shit and then people want to chime in and then ask questions, they have the opportunity to. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to waste your time by having you come in like this, but we won't be able to go live on YouTube like this. We'll have to figure out a different way. So I'm going to just continue this live. If you want to stay in in the chat and on here, that's cool. If you want me to call you later, I'll do that. All right. So I'm just gonna just okay, for sure. We'll do that. All right. So I'll talk to you later. We're gonna finish chopping it up too. Okay. So back to the Native Americans, right? All right. I know this ain't Thanksgiving, but it's still the same shit because the colonizers, they colonize. You know what I'm saying? So basically, in this area of the country, right, it's so many things that can make a tribe or specifically Native Americans thrive here in the Bay Area, right? And based off of the research that me and a friend was doing, and shout out to Cass, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? We was chopping it up, and what we found was that of course there was genocide and murder and pillage, but to actually read the stories and read in between the lines of what the stories was, or the history, like, so basically we was going into city history. So when you go into the history of your city, 9 times out of 10, depending on where you are, but 9 times out of 10, you'll start to uncover this story of genocide on Native Americans. And the cold part about all of this shit is that the motherfuckers was pillaging and slaughtering natives, and then as the cities were built, naming streets after the colonizers. So 9 times out of 10 in your city, the street names, you wonder, like, well, where did these names come from? They came from the colonizers. The colonizers. The colonizers have named the streets after them because they colonize. I guess that's what colonize means. You know what I'm saying? And but it was just sad to be like, oh, I've been driving down this street the whole time, but this street is named after a motherfucking murderer. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. So that just spills into other sick, psychotic things. We damn near gang banging. Nigga, I'm from Wooty Woo Street, Colonizer Street. Nigga, you from Colonizer, Murderer, Raper Street. And continuing to perpetrate more murder and rape. Sad the minds of those who are lost. I was once lost and still kind of am, but at least I know and understand that I'm lost. When you're lost and don't know you lost, that's fucked up. Imagine being lost and not knowing you lost. In a city, like literally, like I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going, but shit, fuck it. It's crazy. But yeah, it was just really disheartening. You know what I'm saying? And then where I live at, there's apparently a lot of Native American burial grounds that they have built property either on or by. So disrespectful. That's some disrespectful shit. The colonizer, man, you motherfuckers don't give a fuck. So, my hope, well, there was a movie called Poltergeist, right? There was a movie called Poltergeist a long time ago, you know what I'm saying, where the little white girl, Carolyn, look into the light, right? That type of shit, for those who ever seen that movie. But the story was loosely based off of a suburban family who moved into the suburbs, moved into a house. The house ended up being haunted by poltergeists that was communicating to them through electronical objects like light fixtures and televisions and shit of that nature. So, come to find out, the reason why the house was haunted was because, what do you think of the Gulf of Mexico fire? See that? I didn't know nothing about. It's on the news. It's new. I don't know. Oh, I heard something about that. My partner was saying something. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. So, come to find out that the reason why their house was haunted was because they canceled Lovecraft Country. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm gonna stop looking at the comments for 2 seconds. What up, fam? The producer of The Third Son coming through, chiming in like what it done. Feel me? So, the reason why their house was haunted was because they built their house on ancient Indian burial grounds. So their shit was fucking haunted. So my point is, as all these colonizers have made their streets after their names and building their fucking giant homes, and if you peep in most areas, I'm pretty sure this repeats across the country, that these affluent areas, these these rich neighborhoods where you don't see a lot of minorities, I bet you they're built on ancient burial grounds. Because remember, the colonizer was sick. He would murder and rape and pillage and then build a house right there. Like, yes, we claim the stake to this and we own this. The colonizer, right? So these became the affluent communities that are now gated off and shit like that. Be careful where you live. Gated off and shit like that. Okay. Okay. So the land and the earth is an element heavily connected to the body. When you have murder of a native people, very spiritual in nature, and then place their remains inside of the earth, the chances of that affecting you are very high. Be aware of where you live. Appreciate the land you live on. Don't be the colonizer. Don't live on the land and disrespect the earth. How do you live on the land and disrespect the earth? How do you live on the land and don't have any regards of spirit or soul? Especially 9 times out of 10, murder, rape, and pillage has happened in the name of these said cities. I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you. Most affluent neighborhoods are probably built around or on Native American burial grounds. And they stayed there over generations and didn't let other poorer people, people of different classes, move there, because they felt like, the original people felt like this was a symbol of conquest, of taking over. That's why rich neighborhoods are rich neighborhoods. Do your research in your city that you live in so you can get a better understanding of where you live and what you're living on. It's different. And you'll see some very disturbing or amazing things. In the Bay Area, reason why Bury the Truth is their rule of law, says the producer of The Third Son. Fact. That's a fact. The reason why the Bay Area is so rich in this shit, probably a little bit more than a lot of places in the country, but not to say that it's only like this here, because in the Bay Area, you can see the traces of the Spanish, which is European. The Spanish conquistadors. Conquest. That's what they were doing here. Because in the names, you have San Leandro, San Lorenzo. This is all Spanish shit. At first, I thought this was Mexico shit. But after doing research, what happened is Mexico, this was all Mexico. So what happened is Mexico was like, you know what, man, we need some of this paper that these motherfuckers got. This gold sounds real good to us. We gonna give y'all some of this shit. We ain't using it. So the Mexicans gave up land to the Spanish. They told the Spanish, hey, listen, we gonna give y'all this shit, but there's some motherfuckers y'all gotta be aware of. He was talking about the Native Americans. So this led me to believe or understand that there's a difference between Mexico, Native Americans, and Spanish. These are all three different sources. Anyhow, peace. Right. Anyhow, so looking at the Bay Area, you see where San Francisco, San Ramon, Martinez, all of these, like there's so many. Palo Alto. These are names of Padres and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Now I remember reading this shit in high school, but never was it was never explained truly like what this shit really means. You know what I'm saying? Crazy shit. Crazy shit. That's what I'm saying. The Bay Area it was popping out here. You know what I'm saying? This is why you get the 49ers and the gold rush. See, the 49ers were based off of motherfuckers that was mining gold. This is what that's based off of. The football team, the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, give a fuck, was based off motherfuckers that was mining and getting the gold out of the water. All this shit is going back to gold. We know how important and how ancient gold is, and how the Elohim was very interested in the gold of the planet. Okay? This is why California and the West Coast is some other shit. This is why they say that there's temples and hidden pyramids in Arizona and shit like that. It's a fact. Remember, we're abundant in gold here. Facts. But I digress. I'm way off topic. Let's reel it back. Come down, selector. Reel up, reel up. Reel up. So, it's very imperative to understand where you live at and how to live on that land. It's one thing to have a spiritual connection to your ancestors from whatever lineage you're from. You can be have African ancestry. You can have South American ancestries, which ultimately leads back to African ancestries or ancestors, right? And to connect with them or these deities for whatever kind of spiritual work that you may want to do. But I also would take into consideration or suggest to also take in consideration the ancestor practices of where you live, because you as a human being, a physical vessel, is directly connected to the earth because your body is earth. The physical body is of the element of earth, water, wind, fire, and all that shit, but you have to cherish every element of the body, including earth. So, connecting with whatever type of Native American tribe that inhabited where you live is imperative to complete your spiritual growth. This is something that I've been coming to the realization of for the last, I don't know, four months or so. So I've been led, like the spirit is leading me to dig into the Native American side of things, which, I don't really have a lot of knowledge on other than knowing that there's some indigenous bloodline there. So even with that being said, if you are even Native American or proclaiming to be of this land from jump, because some people don't feel like they came from Africa, or I'm talking about the melanated ones, feel like they were brought here, that they were always here, which is possible because the Native Americans apparently are different from the Spanish and the Mexican. But people from Mexico, that's what I'm saying. People from Mexico believe that they're Spanish. A lot of people do. But in reality, nah. The Spain was people from Europe who came through raping and pillaging y'all, just like they came through raping and pillaging in Africa. But 9 times out of 10, it was just people here any fucking ways. So, that's a whole nother video. But you may already have that connection natively, ancestry to the land out the gates anyways. You may just be from here. And that makes it even more of a reason why you need to connect to where you at. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we get really, really caught up in the whole Kemet, Egypt, blah, 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 Africa, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you from. China, whoever, right? I had to throw that in there. That was funny. But where you at? You know what I'm saying? There's a very, very old saying. It's not where you from, it's where you at. C-Dot says, that Puerto Rican guy told me that Latinos is a mixture of black, white, and Indian. Just say that's where you get into Hispanic. What does Hispanic means? But specifically, if we want to talk about Puerto Rico, Boricua, right? Something that I had to tell somebody one time. Puerto Rican isn't a race. So someone, I was arguing with someone that was Puerto Rican, and they didn't even notice. It was crazy. I was like, you're not, Puerto Rican isn't a thing. And they were upset. So I had to break it down. I said, so what does Puerto Rico translate to? The port of riches. Why would someone call their race the port of riches? No, that was a very European label from the Spanish, because you speak Spanish, right? Puerto Rico. That was a label from the Spanish that are European, who looked at where these native people were and said, there's abundance of gold and materials here. This is the port where we will dock our ships and we will gain riches. Hence, Puerto Rico. As these Spanish people, Europeans, came through, they raped and pillaged like they always do. And this is how you have this, we'll say that they were African, because Africans sailed the seas way before Europeans did. Truth be told, I know that you'd think that most primitive African people just was running around with bones in their noses and in their ears and doing dances. No, we were sailing seas. We were the first pirates, actually. But we'll save that for a different video. So, Africans been here, and Europeans came through and mixed up and told them to start speaking Spanish, and that's how you have a lot of Latin, Latino, Latinx, whatever the fuck that means, Latinx people. So, I mean, you said that it was a mixture of European. Let me see what she said. She said it was a mixture of black, white, and Indian. I'm telling you, Native Americans are black people. They're ancient people, actually. They're I won't say is when I say black, I'm using that term very, very loosely. And I'm using that term that doesn't necessarily mean from Africa. This is the whole debate about Native Americans. So when they say that we've been here, to people who say that they're not from Africa, it's possible. Because you got to remember that this planet wasn't always shaped like this. This planet wasn't always, it didn't always look like this. This is where you get into the times of Atlantis and Lemuria. Remember, the water level was different. I would say that it was lower. I could say that, but I can't really prove that. I can just tell you that it was different. Water levels in certain places were different. You know what I'm saying? So, at some point, the water levels increased and a lot of land was covered. A lot of people sought refuge into the inner earth to survive this flood, which we now know to have happened based off of many accounts, one of which being biblical. This flood that happened wiped out some people, but some people survived and they went into the earth. There's many caverns inside of the earth. How the air flows into the caverns of the earth, I haven't quite uncovered that yet, but it is true. You can look up many, many documentaries that show these hidden caverns that they don't know how far it goes. And it's not by coincidence that Native Americans will say that their ancestors are from inside of the earth, because at some point people started to make their way outside from inside of the earth. And if they came up, you know, through a cave or through a hole and started to flourish, that cave or hole could have just more than likely been the continent of what we now call North America. And I would like to actually bring to the point that if the water levels were maybe lower than they are now, or at least different, what you call a continent is nothing but the top of a mountain. You see? So the top of the mountain could have been lower. You see what I'm saying? And people could have went inside of the mountain previous. As water rose to cover these entrances, so to speak, you can see how continents are just really tops of mountains. Who knows what the real landmass of the earth actually looks like? We don't even know what the shape of the earth is. I'm not saying it's flat, but it's not round. It's just a rock. And rocks aren't smooth. You know what I'm saying? Well, some rocks are smooth, but not naturally. They're only smooth by water. Back to what me and my cousin was talking about earlier about densities. Everything is a liquid. So even space, water, everything is a liquid because nothing is solid. Okay? So I wish I could have brought him on and we could have talked about that. That would have been some fire ass shit for this discussion. Anyways, so yeah. So this was just about Native Americans, and this really wasn't supposed to be a video, but it ended up being one. All right, so we'll leave it at that, and I was about to cut the video off, and then I read a comment. Let's take a look. Amar says the Mexica, what we know as the Aztec of Mexico, say they came from the caves inside the earth before they arrived in Mexico. I'm going to tie that comment in with the next comment, where C dot says, because we're connecting the dots, because Amar, you're a dot, and C, she's a dot too, apparently, because it says C dot, because she's a dot. We're all dots. We're connecting right now. So C dot says you should really check out the Gulf of Mexico fire because it's connecting with you saying right now. I really don't think this is a fire. I think it's something emerging. This is a fact. So let's talk about the ancient people who were here on the tops of the mountains that we call land, because these are just mountain tops. Feel me? What's going on right now? See, I don't know nothing about the Gulf of Mexico fire. That's even that solidifies some more shit. All right, but let's talk about. Damn. I should research that, but let's talk about the West Coast. The West Coast is actually, if you looked at the Pacific Ocean, the West Coast of North America is really the east of the Pacific Ocean. The whole ring around the Pacific Ocean, let's just say, from your guys' perspective, the West Coast is over here, right? And hold on, is that right? No, West Coast is over here. If we're looking at this as a ring, as the Pacific Ocean, the West Coast is over here. And then Japan is over here. And then, you have whatever up here, and then kind of nothing down here. Well, there's a volcanic ring that sits at the bottom of the ocean that is constantly erupting. They call it the Ring of Fire. This definitely is supposed to go into the moon video, for sure. I think the moon video is about to come because everything is pointing towards that. That's interesting. So, the reason why the West Coast is so heating up is because I think it's because of this Ring of Fire. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, heat comes from above, but it also comes from below. This is how you get true temperature, right? Something is changing in the earth. Something is changing. I spoke about this in the heat wave video. And if there's a Gulf of Fire, if there's a a fire in the Gulf of Mexico that may be suspicious, it may support that this change is a coming real quick and real hard. I think the people in the powers that be, they know a lot. Of course, they know a lot more than what they led on to, and something is happening for sure. And I think what's happening is huge, major shit, major. And I wouldn't be surprised that if in maybe 10 years we live in a totally different planet, including different species of entities and beings that we've never seen before. I wouldn't doubt it in the next 10 years. If you look at how everything is going, look at the control they're trying to keep over us. Look at these weird phenomenon of things that they can't no longer hide. Whether they're attached to it or whatever, they can't hide it. Changes in the earth, major changes in the earth. Spiritual revelations that are happening across the board to a lot of people about a lot of the same shit. We are definitely in that fucking fifth dimensional shift that we was all talking about in 2012. Like, what's the fifth dimension? Ah, you didn't think it was gonna be like this, huh? Yeah, this is that shit. Dominique Castro, Zoom call. Why did you say that? Are you referencing how I'm trying to connect with my cousin? Because the problem is I'm trying to go live with someone. I did it before, but this is before YouTube changed. Go live with someone on the phone, with both of us on the phones, and have viewer participation and be able to record it as a record. So, you could do it multiple different ways, but I wanted to kind of be all at one time, have it recorded, 2 people at least, live stream on a phone. I've seen people do it, what I'm saying? Someone's on a desktop, other people, what I'm saying? But I think someone has to be on a desktop. I think that's what it is. All right, man. I came in here to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That never happened. So I'm gonna make that PB and J in the name of the colonizer. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your colonizer day. And do not OD on barbecue sauce. Don't do that. Do not OD on the barbecue sauce. Okay? And I will not OD on the Skippy. Look how big this jar of Skippy is. It's as big as my head. Almost. I have a big head. And I don't even like Skippy like that. Skippy is not the best peanut butter. It's good, but it is not the best. What's the best peanut butter? Go. No? I don't eat peanut butter. No one likes peanut butter here. Skippy is the best. Jenny. Homemade. Homemade peanut butter. And how do you do such a thing? Y'all know what the best peanut butter is. It's Jif. Stop playing. Y'all know Jif is the best peanut butter. Cut it out. Skippy. Mm-hmm. Boo-boo. No, man. Nah. Yeah, well, all right, man. I'm getting my fat ass off this live, man. Eating and talking. So fat. All right, y'all. I'm going. Peace. I love y'all. Peace.